Plug you in. I'm gonna stretch the cord around this way. Oh, my heater's still on. There we go. Sorry about that. Beep, beep, beep. There's my heater. Turn it off. And, you should... Nope, you're not plugged in quite yet. Did you give me an alert? Yes, you are. You're going. Alright, cool. So... Post report! Ba-ba-dum! Post report! Warhammer 40,000 Death Guard. I brought my Death Guard. It's my friend's birthday. We played two 2,000 point games, and I'll report on both of them. And it ended, it's Slaanesh Demons and Adeptus Custodes versus my Death Guard Plague Marines. And we'll get into the first game. I got crushed in the first game because we were playing open war. Which, open war is fun, but I am kind of not liking playing it that much, because what happened? Where the fuck did I put that? Oh, well, we'll go see if I can find some paper towels. Oh, there they are. So, what happened was, the first open war that I drew was some serious bullshit. I drew everything for it, and it ended up fucking me over really hard. And there was basically nothing I could do against the Slaanesh Demons, which were super fast jellyfish. And they're pretty quick. And he piled up field. Let's see what we're going to do. This my buddy playing Slaanesh was like, the way it all ended up being was I was inevitably a turn one charge from him. Maybe if I got, the most I could have moved away from him was, an 8-inch charge, and some units in that would have to be, a 5. Because I drew one, or I would have pieced my army up, and then they also had bikers that moved really fast, so the bikers were, no matter where I went, a guaranteed charge, because the deployment was they were the circle in the center, and I was deploying around edges. And we were playing a slightly smaller table, which translated into, and we kind of played fast and loose with the deployment there. That ended up screwing me over. And they were trying to, I understand why they were trying to play fast and loose with the deployment. It wasn't trying to fuck me over, as we were just trying to get the game going. And I was I was down with it, and then that bit me in the ass, and then they got a bunch of turn one charges off and ate my list, and it was 40 minutes of me removing models in turn one, and then I had lost 900 points of my 1,000 points, and then my next phase was abysmal, and then we reset. And this game was a bit more of a game, and I'm more okay with what happened here. Because, at least it was me making mistakes. I lost again. But this was me fucking up because I didn't know my homeboy's army. Yeah, I didn't know what the Slaanesh models did. And he had, a couple, HQ units in a corner, including his warlord, and I thought his warlord was important to his army, and I was like, he's just not going to leave his warlord out to get murderlated, so he'll put some forces down here. Turns out, his warlord doesn't mean anything to his army. He was like, yeah, no, that's just a trap. Like, fuck. And then they dropped in on my flank and shit all over my face. That one was so the one deployment was, the first deployment was the circle in the center, and then I was on the edges and angles, like, like that, at the edges. If it was this piece of paper was the edge of the map at this far corner here, I was deploying like that, and it was like this. That was like the deployment. And then the second deployment was this one with the 6-inch divide running down the center there. And the twist for the first deployment was his Slaanesh models moved even faster. And that sucked. So they got turn 1 trade, and they had bikers, and they had chariots, and they had demonettes. Demonettes weren't the fastest, but they still got in with a decent charge. But they had bikers and chariots and units that were just all over my face. And that was just, there was nothing I could, like, that was just, oh, hey, you lose. Have a nice day. And we were playing an objective game, and this also influenced my deployment. I was trying to get some objectives. The second deployment with the crossways that, I'll pop out some pen, and I'll just give it a quick couple dashes here. The deployment that's like that, and, with the 6-inch center line deployment, or is it like 12 or 18? I don't remember exactly. And, that's when I chased his warlord down, because I was like, obviously his warlord is of import to his army. Nope. He dropped all of his other demons down with the actually important HQ ball that I wanted to kill on my flank, because we also drew a 3-part deployment, so I had to deploy in 3 parts. That kind of worked out for my buddies, because then they just alternatively brought in their armies. They didn't have to split up their armies, because they did split up 1 unit of troops in the last, and they just separately brought their armies. Which kind of bit ass for me. And then they deployed like 1 unit apiece on the field. And their units weren't the best, but I played into their hand there. I played right into their trap. I thought both of their again, I don't know the Custodes that well, because I've only fought with them once. And I had fought them once, but they didn't really do anything in that first game. It was all the Slaanesh multi-charging everything and destroying my Blight Hall or Plague Marine Maniple. That, and second one, like I said, it's first one, that sucked. There's nothing, I was talking to my friend, he was like, dude, there's nothing you can do about that first game. I was like, no. First game was deployment. You're fucked. It was deployment. You're fucked. It was control the thing. So it was like it was objectives and controlling like a relic after objectives. So it was like also you're fucked again, and then the twist, they had a teleport twist on top of it. So the twist where they move faster, triple fucked, and then they could teleport a unit anywhere. And so they were just like, he was like, dude, if you got us in trouble, we had a ruse to just teleport and then recharge a unit that we needed to. I was like, well, he's like, yeah, there's basically nothing you could have done that game. I was like, yeah, kinda a little bit. All their whole unit, every unit in their army at least had a 5-up. All the Custodes had a 4-up or a 3-up. Invuln. That's a 5-up Invuln. That was a pain in the ass, but that wasn't the biggest thing that fucked me up. I could have learned their armies better, but again, like, I didn't know exactly what my buddy was bringing, because he was putting the models, it was like he was putting the models together before the game, and it's actually I just didn't understand what the fuck Slaanesh had done because hadn't fought it before, and like I'd read the Demon Codex with my buddy, like when I was hanging out with him earlier, but I still didn't exactly remember like I just like remembered like some highlights of Slaanesh, really, and I didn't really remember like the minutia, which is kind of important. And yeah, I was fine with that actually. That game because when we were down here when we were like this, I don't know if I think I kind of like messed up in the deployment, which is I dealt with that, and then I messed up in the second deployment in the where I deployed my elite bomb because I had like a troop maniple, and then I had an elite bomb, and then I had just like a single elite hanging out on his own, my Noxious Blightbringer. I'll tell you guys my list. My friend gave me some proxy Plague Marines because I was just gonna run. Oh, hey, look, I gotta get that piece of sprue off. Uh, he 15. Yeah, it's 15 long fangs to represent blight launchers, and a bunch of other space wolves that to represent plague marines. And then I brought my 3 squads of plague marines, giving me total 6 squad of plague marines. And then I ran a double battalion. And I ran my 1 blight hauler, and I ran my plague surgeon with it. And I got the. I can't find the thing, but I got the foul blight spawn like right before the game happened. And yeah, got the foul blight spawn right before the game happened, and he paid off sort of. I didn't play him right. He could have helped in the first game, but I placed him poorly because I got But also there wasn't really anything I could have done. There wasn't too much available for me to do, even if I did place him optimally. The amount of units that got deleted for points expended on my friends, like he got great charges and awesome attack rolls, and it was just shit in my face. I just had to drink a big old cup of shit. Just I like shit in the evening. Yeah, that's fine. That's what happens. Then I misplayed him again in the second round, but this was more drastic, and I should have brought him in up top. And I should have brought him in. So here's how I could have won. This is actually this is the part of the video I like the most, and it might be more useful to you guys, is ways I could have taken my position in the game from certain points in the game, and to go to a win. So, deployment, I could hit on the first game. I could have deployed all the way back. That wouldn't have done too much for me. They probably still would have gotten great turn 1 charges. I would have been on the end of optimal engaging range for them instead of in optimal engaging range for me and them. Because I just kind of went, alright, I'm going to try to go first and put in the hurt. Because if I could have gotten first in the first game, I could have put in some work on their stuff, but it didn't. It definitely didn't happen. Anyways, we're not going to paint that black. Not like that. But the second game, I maybe could have deployed it like a different edge. I think might have been more useful, deploying it like a I deployed kind of in the center because I wanted to deploy away from a charge. But also I should have... Like, I was so burned after that first game, which was just, like, so much bullshit that I, like, hardly paid attention when they were breaking down their units. I was like, cool story, bro! And that kind of bit me in the ass, which is completely my fault, which is why I'm totally fine with that game. It's because the things that bit me in the ass were my fault. Instead of, like, you drew a card, that means you're fucked. You drew 4 cards, that means there's no fucking way you're ever going to win this fucking game. Because that's what happened with Open War there. It was like, alright, you drew these 4 Open War cards, and they weren't the worst. I mean, they collectively might have been the worst draw I could have gotten, but it might have been, it could have been a little bit worse. I think, but it was pretty bad. It was with what they had and what I had, like, okay, cool. Good game, duh. Like, it was down to... Like, I said good game when he got the roll. He's like, my friend laughed. He's like, we'll see. He's like, depending on how the attack phase goes. And he was right. It was his attack, his phase went well, and it was good game. But, second game, I chased his HQ too much. So I could have, maybe held back more and tried to occlude him better after the first movement phase. And then, because when we were dropping in our elite selections, we split our armies up, like I said. My buddies just brought their armies in, and like I said, I chased their HQ, and I dropped my HQ ball on his HQ ball, because I knew my HQ ball would murder his HQ ball, and I was right. My HQ ball took a giant brick on his HQ ball, but I misunderstood the importance of his HQ ball, because it doesn't mean anything to his army, or my other friend's army. They had nothing. It was like, cool, we're just going to leave those there to die. I was like, both of your warlords? Like, yeah. I'm like, God, fuck, alright, cool. Their warlords didn't mean too much, because his one warlord was just like, yeah, you have -1 to shoot me. I was like, it's -1 to hit. I was like, okay. And so, and the other one was like, no, I have a -2 attack aura. And I was like, oh, I thought he gave that to his dudes. Oh, Jesus. And he's like, nope. I thought it was like I thought he, like, some reason I thought the Slaanesh HQ daisy chained his attack aura. But do you know what he definitely doesn't do? He does not daisy chain his attack aura. And so I was just, I was deeply bewildered about how important the HQs were, which means they didn't mean anything. I was like, they want to keep their warlords alive. Like, we don't give a fuck. It's, oh, no. And then they're like, thanks for leaving your troops filled with blight launchers. I was like, yeah. Yeah, no problem. And I didn't bring them to bear well enough. Any of my reinforcements, I didn't bring my blight launchers to bear well enough. I didn't, I kind of misplayed that whole game. And that's fine. I'm just gonna learn. I'm learning from it, man. What I did, what I should have done better was, maybe I could have dropped Typhus with the flamethrower guy. The foul, I needed him. Could have dropped, like, Typhus with, just my 2, Terminators could have gone over there. Maybe. I wouldn't have. I should have just dropped my whole HQ ball near my stuff. because I had that HQ ball had a lot of beat sticks, and if I really would have played properly, I wouldn't have put all of my beat sticks on his army. And I would have just, you know, maybe I would have put my Termies down or thrown my Demon Prince over. No, I should have put my Demon Prince in the army for the reroll ones. I put my Demon Prince over there as a beat stick, and he died. And I put my Lord of Contagion and my Typhus over there, and, you know, they didn't die, but they also weren't helping when the rest of my guys died, when they totally could have been helping the whole time. I could have done way better. My bloat drones, I had bloat drones to deal with his Daemonettes, and I thought he was going to deploy his Daemonettes next to his HQ, and I thought my friend was going to deploy my other buddy who was playing Custodes was going to deploy his elites next to his other warlord. Like, these are both warlords, and they're like, we don't give a shit. And I was like, ah, fuck. And then they're like, yeah, warlords don't mean anything to us. Have fun with them. Ah, okay, cool. And then they shitted all over my face again. But hey, at least I know that their warlords are good. But they're like my Demon Prince, in which, you know, I'll just put it out on its own. You know, have fun, man. Yeah. Maybe I should, you know, maybe I should try the Plague Sword or something on my Demon Prince. I'm running him as Talons right now. I like the Malefic Talons on him. I've just got to get I've just got to get the Super Demon Prince going, where I hit him with what's it called? Warp Time with Night Lords, Chaos Sorcerer, and Jump Pack. I might check out using the Relic Sword on him. But the thing is, my dude, I like the Talons. The Talons are pretty tasty. And he gets a bunch of attacks, and he punches things pretty good. But the thing is, I might do better with the sword. At the end of all of these things, I guess I could sum it up. I could have moved better early phase for occlusion and stopped him from flanking me so hard. I could have deployed my reinforcements better. And again, stopped him from flanking me so hard. And I could have maybe pieced up my units better to have more effective fielding forces, but maybe I did okay on that. I just deployed what went together. But maybe I should have deployed in a somewhat different methodology. However, the idea that the deployment could have been better is way more moot than me dealing with what happened after that poorly. So that's lessons learned, things I did well. I'm getting really decent at moving my mana pool around. I have better command of my stratagems, like I remember them more. But I also don't... I don't get any uh I forget what I was talking about. I do not remember what the hell I was talking about. I'm just good. I was just decent at moving my mana pool. And that's about it. That's what I did well in that game. I was so burnt from the other game that I was just like up until I had a pretty long smoke break, I was not. After I smoked like 3 or 4 bulls and just like stood outside for a little while, I was ready to go back in and play, but I had to reset from the utter shit fest of the first game, and I just played poorly, which is how it happens. I misprioritized. I thought their HQs meant more. I didn't understand their lists. Turns out their warlords mean fuck all, and I should have worried more about what was coming in instead of what was on the board. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope it was somewhat useful. Listening to me just be like, I got my ass kicked, but I learned something. I learned their armies pretty decently, what they have right now. So, I hope you guys have a nice day.